Yo.
We back again.
JTO, just talking online, back in your face. I'm Jerry.
I'm Marcus.
And it's a new week, new day.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling kind of like it's a little epiphany we had with these, well, as black people.
Well, yeah, or just with time in general.
Time in general.
Talking about what we're talking about.
We're talking about how fast things have changed for black people just from being slaves.
Yeah, but just in general, just change.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't black specific. It was only black specific because we're black talking about
exactly.
It. But we're in general just talking about.
Yeah, 200 years in the grand scheme of all of history and the information we have is nothing. Like we get past, we make 200 years of progress. I feel like with coronavirus, we've made 200 years of progress in this year.
Yeah, because I mean, we were talking about I don't even know how we got to that part, but where I can at least recall from
the semiconductor.
No, well, it was before that. The American Revolution, the time between the American Revolution and the Civil War, and it was basically just like 100 years, like 1776. You said like the
1870, something like that.
Started the Civil War, and that's kind of incredible if you think about it. To make a country with 100 years, that's like, all right, so your fathers and them, they build a country. They have sons. And those sons go kill each other and tearing this shit apart. That's that fast. You know what I'm saying? At most, you're watching your grandsons go to war with the same people you just watched. You just had the fireworks. You remember that. Like, you can remember that and see that. Like, that's pretty incredible. Just, you know.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing because we, especially with the internet, we usually think of like things as so far gone, like all these, even like when you talk about the 1950s to some people, you get quickly you'll find that people act like that's a long time ago, like that was so far off. No one remembers. Like no, we all remember.
Yeah, some people were
there. Yeah.
For real?
It's great.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
A friend actually, he was talking about, he was saying that he was like, yeah, because he'd say racist stuff. He just would. But he was saying that most of these people, he was like, you guys, it's not like you guys were slaves, da-da-da-da-da. That was one of the things he would say. He's talking to a woman and she's like, yeah, but I was a slave. Like, she's an older woman, but the fact that she can say, that was me, and she's walking.
Yeah, just wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3 generations removed from that.
Yeah. A couple healthy people back.
Yeah, just 2, 3. I don't know. That was just a wild realization, and just even all the things that happened in that time. Like, we went from the cotton gin to Chinese sweatshops. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And it goes to show that we base a lot of innovation on labor that probably shouldn't be happening. But it's just like one of the small evils that has to be paid.
Louis C.K. Pre his cancellation shit. It was one of his best stand-ups. And I'm blanking on the name of it for sure. But it was Louis C.K. and he's in the round, which means that the stage is in the middle. It's a circle, and the crowd is around, so he's kind of stalking the stage.
Okay.
So whichever special that is, he ends it with this, well, maybe concept, right? And the concept is, Louis is a genius. Like, so I can't even really, and I haven't seen in a while, so I can't flesh it out as good as he said, but like he builds towards a lot of examples of like maybe we have to do a little bad to get good, and he's just like, you know, slavery's bad. So you say like a bad thing. Slavery's bad. But maybe, well, and this was like his last one, actually. So he's building up to this point, and so you're like, oh shit. He's like, but maybe we need it, and maybe it's brought us every big innovation we've ever had, or every giant leap forward we've ever had in human history. So it goes back to the pyramids, America, and he's like, right now, he's like, the sweatshops is like, yeah, you know, someone. They have nets outside the factories, but you don't care. Like, as long so it's like, which one do you want? It's like, do you want to let these people go and have a better life with standard, or do you want to be able to talk shit on Twitter while taking a shit? Like, and he ends it there. It's pretty incredible. I didn't do it justice. So, like, if you. Yeah, still like Louis C.K. Still great.
I'll probably end up finding it because it's worth hearing that.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah,
I agree with him completely because, like, even thinking about it, if you took one thing away from slavery, it's super key. But if you took slave children out of the equation, only adults were slaves, then you could make the argument that the Chinese sweatshops are worse because they're taking children.
What now? Hold on. What?
So, in America, black people were slaves, but they were slaves their whole lives from birth to death.
Okay.
But if there were only adult slaves.
But what is this about? If they were only adult slaves.
Yeah, if we only had adult slaves and we weren't in America.
We didn't.
Huh?
We didn't.
No, we definitely had kids. Like, we were having them breed, we were doing it all.
Yeah.
If we weren't doing that, though.
But we did, though.
Oh, for sure. I'm not trying to say this.
Hypothetical the other way, though. Like,
no, but it's pretty key because, like, we look at what's happening with China and we act like that's just, something that's happening. I think it's kind of comparable to slavery. I believe that.
No, it is slavery. It's not. The only reason we don't go in is because China's really scary.
China is.
And they own our shit. Also, they make our shit.
And they have our debt.
So we can't. They own our shit.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
They own it. Like, it's us. Like, they can call that shit and it's like, yeah, we got to pay up. And we can't.
Nobody pay up.
And then also, yeah, we make all our medical equipment comes from China. Like that was a big eye opener for Corona. And we knew we had been doing this. We had been starting exporting stuff once we started closing factories and exporting all those services to like China and India. So we knew we were doing it, but we were just like, it's cool because it's all like 99 cents now and it works out. But what if we have to close those borders or everyone has to make stuff and keep it for themselves? And then those trade routes get clogged. And we realize, we're not making anything. We might have storage of shit, but now we realize our storage is can run out really fast.
Yeah.
And we can have nothing to import. So like, that's a big hole we have to fill, just as a safeguard even.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it on another podcast, but I was saying that America is. Like, our big thing is just being the big thing. Like, a lot of these other countries, they have specialties. Like, they have things that, like, this is what we do, and we put that out to the world. China's manufacturing. Sweden, they have the shoe sole guys and some other businesses.
I see what you're saying, but, like, it's not.
But it's pretty, that's a pretty real thing, though.
It's
like,
not, though. I mean, like,
what do we put out other than, because what we do have when we talked about it was entertainment.
Culture, yeah. No, we still, like, that. The iPhone was still thought up in California. Like, Silicon Valley still pumps up the ideas, and then the Chinese, like, literally steal the apps and make their own branded for us. But
for sure,
we're still, like, Facebook was at Harvard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this shit was that's still on the soil.
Yeah.
So we're still pumping out ideas. It's just that when we put up the blueprints and we make the prototype and it's like, all right, we need 1 million of these, we're gonna send it over there, and you guys get to screw this in a million times.
We don't pump out physical product.
No, we don't. So that's the we pump out the ideas for it though, and that's not nothing.
It kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the idea versus the execution.
No, it's not, because we do execute the ideas. We just we give up the leverage on doing it all our own, which is a whole. But it's not like nothing happened. It was not like that would have existed without us playing that part, and it's not like we didn't bring it to fulfillment. We did all those things. So that is execution. We just
don't manufacture it.
Yeah, we just gave away. We just outsourced the important part of the process for profit, and instead of
we gutted our own people for it.
Yeah, I think we'll turn back though. Elon's really important, and this is another front that I think he's gonna solve for us. Kind of not unwittingly, but like
how so?
Because so he makes his Tesla has the gigafactories, right? And the SpaceX factories, and the last Tesla factory that he built, I think up in LA, you have the engineers in there, but all the assembly line is automated.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
And that's massive, especially if they can have it do like micro, like processes, like the turning the screws and shit like that, like throughout the whole thing, and you can have that automated production doing a consistent output. Yeah, he's solving that kind of through necessity because he wanted to build stuff here. Like he ran into this problem. He's like, I want to build the things here. If I bring in all these people, it's going to be too expensive, and my cars are already expensive. Like his model was already to start with the luxury cars, to have the high end, so then you only have to sell a few of these to make the profit. Then you can take that profit, reinvest, keep turning this out, and that's how you get down to a $30,000 Tesla through 3 generations of luxury cars before it. And in that process is tightening up the production line, because that's where your margins are.
Yeah.
So once he solves that for that's cars and electronics at the same time. So that's all of our shits that we're exporting. If we can make our cars back in Detroit, it's not going to be the factory full of people that we were used to, but the city can still profit from those profits. And you can also get some engineers in there. And now we're also setting our goals differently as children turn into young adults going into the job field. Engineering is less of a, you know about it more. It's less of a thing that, if you're a mechanic, you can look towards being that kind of, you can make that change towards that engineer, because you're built for it. You're built for the puzzle making, the problem solving, and even the hands-on aspect of it. You just don't know the rest of the fundamentals on this other level, but that's just because it wasn't presented to you, or you didn't, whatever. So those people can be put in those positions there, and that's a change in culture.
How do you think it would change for the actual people that were putting those things together? Because it would end up being automated, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So for the people that actually were putting this stuff together, what do you think would become of them?
Where, in China?
No, out here. For example,
No one's putting anything together out here. That's what we're talking about. It's not replacing anybody. There are no factories here.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're adding a whole new building. So you can't.
Yeah, manufacturing's already dead.
Yeah, you're not taking jobs away from it if we don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So you can only add to that.
What do you think should be done about that though? Like, should those people just?
What do you mean?
All these people that were like asked out of jobs and stuff from the loss of manufacturing, and
that's already happened though.
That's already, but we haven't solved it. That's what, and I didn't realize. I kind of had a mismatch of time when I first said that, but within that, it's still interesting. What do you think? should be done, because like I don't believe much, if anything, has been done.
We might be able to like I don't know. New markets can prevail out of these things because we're also new markets could always prevail because that's kind of where in a place we're in where that's always a possibility, at least coming from like tech. But even I don't know what it is exactly, but if you have a factory, you have to have stuff around that factory. So now you've done at least a community of stores, restaurants. You got to feed people in the thing. Like like if you build a stadium, you have shit that comes around the stadium, or like that. You know what I'm saying? So like a factory should be close to that, or it can be. You can sexify a factory, make it a cool workplace, or what do you call it? An industrial park. So yeah, that's some more jobs that aren't as specialized, like right around those centers.
Yeah.
And then also, all these profits are now in house. None of this money is going out the borders, right? So you can tax it more or less or whatever, but then that money can go directly into the community, or even directly into the taxpayers' pockets, like how they do with like weed and shit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like in Colorado, like the profits from weed were so high. I don't know if it's like consistent, but like at least first when this was first rolling out, the taxes, the income tax was so high from it, the profits or whatever, they didn't have anywhere to spend it, so they ended up giving a refund to the taxpayers, just like a tax refund. So that's something. So that's a direct benefit of the
Their achievements.
well of the private sector, like that tax money going directly back into the community directly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever.
Yeah, because like part of we were talking earlier about what I was watching. Part of it was that like college is now, it's not mandatory, but it's expected. And if you don't have that with the specialization, you have to have both that and the specialization. Because some people are going to college, getting out, finding that they picked a wasted subject and they're fucked. Just the same as someone that didn't go. But you have both, and now you're regular. Like you've just crossed the bar into being basic. Now you have to do plus more to get to that dreams and nightmares area. But that plus what we were talking about just had me thinking like, we're about to go into a winner take all just in terms of regular people. Like it's gonna ramp up before it ramps down. You either make the bread or you're broke as shit.
Yeah, but that's not different.
But it's gonna scale up. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like it's already pretty crazy, but it's gonna go up more.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Homelessness is insane now.
Yeah, it's just like I feel you. I don't think it'll go full purge, but there's haves and have-nots. Yeah, I feel you. I'm just but I do see possible fixes for some of these things. The only thing is I don't know if like I see like like even the connection with the factories towards everyone else doing the factories. I don't even know if that's not like anyone's goal in that circuit. So someone has to put those lines together. You know what I'm saying? Like someone at Ford has to go down to Tesla and be like, okay, let me see your production line. Well, Elon has to get it tight first, honestly. And that'll happen. But once that's like clockwork, then everyone else has to go in there and see, okay, how much does it cost? How much does it make? And once that makes sense, it'll disperse.
Yeah.
Just because people want to make more money. And then good can come of it if things are done in good faith.
I feel like it has to be like systemic changes. Like
of course,
this conversation just really made me backtrack to Andrew Yang a lot. Like, yo, Maybe not the part where he was saying $1,200 a month, but maybe the part where he was like, that company you work for, it shouldn't be a check. You should be paid like you're a stockholder and almost in dividends to keep you invested in making that company better if you're working for them.
I like that a lot. Well, I mean, some companies do that. Like, I guess yeah.
Ignorant on the subject, I don't know who does that.
I mean, I don't know what level that starts at. Like my dad was given like stock options at AT&T. Yeah, it's a thing. It's like usually part of if you feel like a 401k with a public traded company. I think they were throwing some stocks. I don't know, but yeah, I agree with the sentiment though. You should have an investment in the company to.
Yeah, I mean, and it was just I liked it because it was for just the regular Joe, like because that's what I feel like is usually missing in what everyone says. Usually everyone's talking about it's so much upside, but it's like we all forget there's somebody that's left behind here, and their numbers aren't low.
Yeah, just okay, because like now I'm thinking about it, because then cause that's not a lower level thing for sure. You'd have to buy your own and it's doing well, and okay, I can give it that. But then even like just subsidizing people, but then the immediate argument is money has to come from somewhere. But then I would tie in with that, with the production, with the
increase in production from automation.
Yeah, tie it in with something else. That's you know what I'm saying, like yeah.
It makes those decisions not have the consequences that everyone fears. Because like automation in itself, that as a subject scares a lot of people. Like, oh, that's gonna take my job. That's gonna do this. Like, but if you don't have to worry about that because you're being subsidized from your company and you're benefiting from them doing it.
That's the real thing. It's talking about systemic change. If there's a word that takes that up a notch, that's what you really need. It's a whole different system, really. Like that's I don't know. It's on the edge of capitalism, like of not being it, and that frightens people. But I don't know if they know why they're frightened. They're just okay.
It goes against the story.
Well, yeah, I know why. Because last time we saw another. Okay, never mind. I got.
We make communists out to be everyone that's not capitalists, and
you ever think about? I kind of know why. I haven't thought about it before. Why it really became like capitalist versus communist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Communism is an economic system, but we argue like a political system, and you see what I'm saying? Like
that's because the countries that practiced it also didn't practice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the human rights aspect of it.
Yeah. And it was so consistent through their tries in communism that it just became the norm. Because the Communist Manifesto, if we're going by that, like these different countries, like these Slavic countries, they kind of follow it. They use parts of it, and then they still maintain their democracy, which makes them democratic socialists. But we don't like the idea of anything that says socialist, communist. All of that are trigger words. Like, it just hits all wrong things.
We need new words.
We need not only new words, but we need to be open to systems that aren't our system.
I think we can, but we can't with those words.
Yeah.
Those words are spoiled. It's like Adolf. You know what I'm saying? You can't really be out here rocking first name Adolf anymore. It doesn't really hit the same as it maybe once did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of I think of it like toxic masculinity, because I think the term toxic masculinity, it triggers a lot of people. It triggers me, but the definition, I agree with it. Like, I believe what you're saying, but that term, that term, you can say it and the conversation's over as far as I'm concerned. Even though consciously I know, I agree, but just when you hear it irrationally, it's like, oh, fuck you. Stop. We're done.
You agree with what they're saying.
Yeah, I agree with the concept, but the term carries weights with it. Like, it implies that you believe a lot of things that might not be true. It implies more than what the word means.
Yeah, and these have been spoiled because you can't even talk about the economics of these things because the political weight of it is so toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Or so many toxic things have been done in the name of it.
Yeah, and more so. If you're talking to anybody that's seen any of it, you're instantly hitting like their worst memories and nightmares.
But see, you could really say the same for people that have seen the worst of capitalists, like the system.
For sure, but they get told to shut the fuck up. Like, we're already doing this. You think we're gonna change because you're a little traumatized? Like, go home, kid.
But he's homeless, though.
Hmm?
But he's homeless. I don't even think you can get complaints, so you don't even hear the...
Yeah, we drown him out. We drown him out. Yeah, we, like in the history classes, they usually ask, like, I can't even remember all the systems they used to say, but it was like the important one was like class and elite. What kind of system do you think the U.S. runs on? Class and elite. Like, that's how we run things. We get a bunch of rich people. They're like, okay, yeah, we don't need to be against each other. We can work together. And then they start fucking things up for people that are poor. That plus time. And now you have a small minority of people with grips of money and a lot of people with zero. Because, I mean, they took out public transportation so they can make money off their cars. If you go through the history, capitalism's messed up, but it's a story of rich people telling poor people to shut the fuck up and just let them steer.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not into that.
It's a weird little thing. Because we're almost like the Lannisters in Game of Thrones.
So I guess, well, we would need both, right?
Yeah, we definitely need both.
We would need we need competition. Competition keeps things healthy, keeps things innovative, and keeps moving forward. But we need a safety net. Or we need our standard of living should be protected to a point. Like, there should be a certain level of comfort provided just for being here.
For sure. I think that it's like and this is just based on what I know of these countries' specialties. They might have more than one part of these features. I'm not sure. But like, we probably should have Germany's anti-monopoly type of laws, so we can make sure that these yeah, but we let them slip all the time. Like, I guess the better thing is we should execute on them the way that Germany executes on theirs.
It matters on who's in office, really. That's like a swing of the thing.
I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like Amazon should have already been getting the evil eye from like Obama. Like, I don't think that they just got this big on Trump, and neither of them have anything that they're really on it about. And Elizabeth Warren, to her credit, she kind of was talking about it like, yo, like them, AT&T. No, she didn't say AT&T. That was way before. There was some...
Can you argue that Amazon's a monopoly? Can you argue that Amazon's a monopoly?
No, I can't argue that they're a monopoly. I don't think they are a monopoly, but I think they're too big. and they take up a lot of competition.
That's the most
They sell their.
Too big.
Yeah.
You're winning too hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
like you're doing too much.
That sounds like some bullshit. That sounds like some.
If he at least treated his employees right, like okay, but like you do both. You make all the money, you don't treat them right.
Yeah, but that's not.
And
though.
And on your website, you're open to everyone selling their stuff, but your stuff just so happens to come up on the first 2 pages.
Oh, that's not coincidence.
None of it's coincidence.
No, but I'm not even saying they wouldn't even say that it is.
Yeah.
Not even. But why?
No, but
why is that? That's
all of
their
this
store.
is-
Why is they? Why you say? I don't even understand why you said that with that tone. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because I
That's their
mean,
store.
all of these are the reasonings that I think they should get downsized. They shouldn't be
What does
allowed
that
to be
mean?
that big.
That's not a thing. What are you talking about?
Like they should probably be split up into 2 different companies. Like it should
Why?
be the website and the
Based
shipping.
on- Jesus Christ! Based on what? Like I'm serious. Like because you said these words. I want you to defend it if you feel this way. Because I think it's insane. That's communism. You're too big. You've made too much. You've won too much.
Okay,
we're gonna take this away from you.
Honestly, I'm not really against communism. Like this,
But I'm saying,
this
like,
China shit
but
has
what-
really changed my whole view on the freedom and like stop.
You're doing it the right way in China.
Huh?
You think China's doing it the right way?
I don't think they're doing everything the right way, but I think some of the stuff they're doing allows them to make better progress than us. Just
What is that in terms of what? Because I think
In terms of the
people
tech.
there would have a different viewpoint on it.
oh no, I'm just talking about in terms of tech. I'm not talking about in terms of like
That's a bad goal because we even said because with all that said, we started the whole thing. Like, so.
but your shower doesn't have LED on it though.
Your what?
Your shower doesn't have a LED display on it though.
Go to a nice house. Like, yeah, they do. Like everything you want is right across that in Silicon Valley. Like go to fucking goddamn, what's right north of San Diego?
What's south?
North of San Diego.
La
La Jolla.
Ocean.
No, go right in La Jolla.
Oh, okay,
It's like one
okay.
of those houses.
Yeah.
Right there. It's like less
Yeah.
than an hour away.
But in China, that's a regular house. Is all
It's
I'm
not.
saying.
It's not true.
It's
I know
not.
true.
It's not a Silicon Valley house.
Huh?
It's
You
not
said
a
that-
Silicon
you said
Valley
a
house.
Regular house in China is like a house in La Jolla. Is that you?
Yeah.
you
Let me not regular.
That's insane.
Not a Silicon Valley house though. It's not just your regular apartment, but it's
I'm
not
saying
Silicon Valley
that's-
level.
There's no way that's true.
It's because they have different software.
Huh?
They have a whole different OS and software that they're running in China. So they have that. They have their own glasses. They have in the cars, like on the windshield, LED
You're
display.
saying this is a standard of living of over 1 billion people in the Republic of China. Is that?
I'm not. That's. I had to correct that. I had to correct that. No, I corrected that the last part of what I said.
No, you just said it wasn't La Jolla, but you still double down on everything else.
This is very real. Yes, it's
I'm
not every single person. No,
It's
it's
standard. You mean because I mean type shit's everywhere.
yeah.
Like so, I mean that's not a. I mean that's not a real thing. Like I'm saying, but everyone has an iPhone.
Yeah.
Everyone has a smartphone.
A lot of people have these things, and it's growing fast. Is a better way for me to say that.
But you could say that here though. Like,
I haven't seen no windshield LED display at all here.
windshield.
Yeah, in your car.
Yeah,
it's part of the. I haven't not seen at all,
house
or the shower.
Because I'm saying I want to know the context of how you saw this. Like you're saying it's standard.
I'm not. I've said it's not multiple times now.
So then what are we talking about?
It's getting there. Is what I'm saying. They're making progress toward that.
But we all are. So what does that mean? Like how?
They
1 in 5 cars has 1 in 10, 1 in 20. Like what are we talking? Like
there's this
emerging
LED display. It's an emerging technology
Then we
that
all emerging. And we probably thought of
yeah, but they have it. Like it's out and about for them right now. It's big shit for them.
How many people have it though?
Let's look it up.
Thank you. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, because again, you could probably say the same thing if you drove around the streets of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd see some shit and be like, oh, well, damn, this is gonna be tight in like 10 years.
Yeah.
But if you're saying everyone's driving around with these in their car, even 5 months from now, then that's significant. But that would be mind blowing to me. Because the general living standard in China, yeah, like they're rich is like our rich, their poor is poorer. Like they don't have marketplaces full of bats and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So their ranges are, and it's a big, like, yeah. So to have that to be a standard,
that's why I couldn't say it was a standard because
and I'm not even convinced that they made it. Like, they steal everyone's shit.
I'm not saying they made it. I'm saying they have it and it's already out.
But if they didn't make it, then that means someone else has it by default.
Someone else has it, but are they using it? Is it out? That's all I'm saying.
Now, you keep bringing it to usefulness, Bob. That's I want to know. You keep bringing it to that.
I can't find the number of people that have it.
Is in production? Is there? Can you find it for sale?
Yeah. Yeah. That was. There's a YouTube video reviewing the LED display, at least for the shower, right here. If you want for the windshield,
Chinese.
Huh?
In China?
Yes.
In China.
Yes. The channel is called China Gadgets.
Okay, that's tight. How much is it?
I don't know. It's a YouTube video for a review. I just was looking up how many. I was looking up how many people owned it.
Okay.
But that's what came up just at the start.
Um.
And I mean, both of the way I found out about the car was also a tech YouTube channel.
When was the review made?
This review was made 2 weeks ago. Yeah. No, but I saw the video on this like 2 years ago. Like,
yeah, that's when shit would be emerging. It'd be like, oh, yeah, this is gonna be tight.
2018, 2017.
Reviews or
yeah. Like I just went to more videos and.
What is the title?
Where's the 2018? Transform your bathroom. Genoa wall mounted. Hold on. Rainfall shower set with LED display. Blue Ocean shower panel for 2018. Well, that was I said that specifically that we were talking about the shower. We can look up the car.
I thought we were talking about the car.
We're talking about both, but I was googling the shower.
I was like, holy! I don't give a fuck about the shower.
Okay. Here, hold on.
The windshield. That's either a thing or not a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Electric car. Windshield LED.
Also, wait, are you so those reviews you were saying were for the shower thing as well? That was the car.
That was the shower.
Man.
Dude, I said that like 3 times.
No, you said LED. You had got past shower and I got past windshield. We were talking about LEDs and shit. So like, we were just talking about 2 different things for a long time. So I have not been talking about shower at all.
Yeah.
Like 0%.
I was saying shower, thinking that you were having that thought. And I'm like, yeah, he didn't say anything, so it's fine. Like, keep going.
Like 10 minutes ago. Like, how about this? The windshield.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't believe I don't think they're living like that right now.
This isn't from China. This isn't from China, but this is credit to what you're saying. Rear window LED display gives other drivers a piece of your mind. That's just to say that someone else had a LED display in their window, not in China, before China came with the product.
But that doesn't even sound like a good one, though.
Oh, for sure.
That sounds like some shit I can put in the car right now. Because you can do, like, little LED screens and put in, like, the little words and it'll scroll like a message.
Mm-hmm.
They do that at, like, cheerleading competitions. That's not innovative.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want, like, I want my map on my windshield, or like when it's like turn left, a giant arrow goes into the street, like I'm playing fucking Grand Theft Auto. Like point me there. Like, you know
hold
what I'm
on,
saying?
I gotta find this company because that's kind of an easier way to.
Yeah, but I don't even remember the point where we're saying
it's not a standard. Yeah, it's not a standard, and I'm completely with you on that. I was saying that these things were being put out like fast. And that was part of what I was saying just in terms of technology in China moving so quick. Because but then also they can copy you and have the product out like next year. You haven't even put the product out.
Yeah, but those aren't really good things. These aren't good things. These are people just stealing intellectual property. Like, that's just theft. Like, you can't champion that. Like, if I make an idea and write it out, execute it, and you just steal it, I'm supposed to give you a hand?
No. Like, I can see how this kind of goes to when you say something, there's implications that go with it. Instead of China, we won't say China, like South Korea.
Okay.
They have a similar way they treat their tech companies as China does, but they're not bad. So you have your LG, your Samsung, things like that. If they need something, the government's like, dude, we got you. Yeah, keep innovating, keep doing that. We want more, please.
Because I don't know. Can you just Google South Korea economic? What's the word for that? What's their economic? What do you call that? Plan.
Economic plan for
system?
tech?
Or just like no economic system. Are they communists or is it a?
I don't know, honestly.
Socialism, because it sounds like there's competition in there, but then they just support it when it does good for the country, and that's night and day from the Chinese system and ours as well.
They're mixed,
but I feel like that's that.
Now
we're talking.
Yeah, they're a mixed system between freedom and not freedom.
But I don't know.
This is just what I saw right here. What kind of economic system does South Korea have? It has a mixed system which includes a variety of private freedom combined with centralized economy, planning, and government regulation. And that part, I don't know how relevant it is. South Korea is a member of APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, and a Pacific Trade Agreement.
Okay.
But
what did you say? It's centralized government or centralized economy?
Government regulation. But before that, they have a variety of private freedoms.
Yeah.
I guess maybe just pull up the whole Wikipedia page, see what's up.
I'm interested if their
or maybe political system would work better.
It's not. I don't really care about. Well, I guess are they a democracy? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask Google that shit. Yeah, Google.
It's a republic.
Okay.
Yeah, representative democratic republic, same as us.
You probably couldn't get down over there if you're democratic. That'd be pretty awkward, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
Like, you're South Korea, and you got China, North Korea, Russia. I don't know what Japan's doing, but they've been bombed out. So
they're like us, just so much more traumatized.
Like, and you're just purely democratic, doing elections and having like comedian talk shit about your president, and everyone's just like, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?"
Yo, North Korea must
look stupid.
North Korea must look at them every year crazy.
Well, they don't need to look out the window. Yeah, that's right.
But that's kind of like my point. I think the government should assist tech companies in achieving more. Like I don't think that Elon Musk he ended up making his gigafactory in China because of the benefits it would bring. But he should have been able to get those benefits in the States a lot.
But as soon as you do that, you crush competition for someone to come up and compete versus that. So then you could think about like, all right, if that was in place, we would have had the first tech boom, right? That would still happen. So we would have been in the land of Yahoo, Angel Fire, MySpace. That would have been your big dog, social media wise. First social media network that anyone gave a fuck, unless I'm missing something crazy.
Maybe AIM? I don't know.
It's not social media. It's Business Messenger. So, all right. So MySpace is big. Everyone's friends with Tom, balling out. Celebrities starting to get on there. It's the medium, and then it starts to die down. It reaches its peak, and then as just Internet 2.0 comes in, that's that competition.
Mm-hmm.
But now the government steps in and is like, we can't let MySpace fail. What the fuck? Like we've never, because for one, no one's ever been in space. Like you don't know.
Yeah.
Like this could be the end. This is not, like, you know what I'm saying? So if government helps pumps MySpace with money, I don't know. Eventually, that may give them time to make a good idea, maybe. But then I don't know if you get like your Facebooks. You know what I'm saying? Because Facebook came in the void of those things.
There's definitely like more to it than because I kind of just had a simple understanding and was like, yeah, this will solve it. But I do think there's a way to finance those people and finance competition.
No,
like I think it's a way to get both done.
You can't.
Because South Korea definitely doesn't have that. Like,
but see, I think actually I think that's what it is. It's the Chinese way. It sounds crazy saying it that way. It sounds like there's a racial part on it. That's not really. But
the way they set their system up.
The way they're supporting their companies or the way their business is going, I think it's kind of a scared way to play the game.
Okay.
As a whole.
Okay. I can agree with that.
And I say that to say that all right. So I would think good business, right, is to make a plan, come with a plan that executes and pays you, and then to sustain or to grow, you want to quickly come up with something else that can supersede
the first
initial thing. Has to break it, or it just has to turn up.
Make progress.
But that's not gonna happen. I don't know. That's just not going to happen without the competition, just people coming in to push those limits. So if you're taking ideas, then we can fund just reproducing shit, as long as someone's pumping out ideas. But if we start hedging for our front runners, the other people are just going to get blended in, and then that's immediate monopoly, and then no one wins. Consumers just get screwed.
What you said makes me kind of think that
and no one has to push.
China and South Korea, in this case, their strategy is kind of like a catch-up strategy. Like when you think about it, because China, they were doing real bad. Then we made them manufacture everything, and they were like, okay, we want to be big like them. So then we take their intellectual property, we do this, we fund companies, so we can quickly raise our amount of funds and make our company stronger. So then our system's better. But it might not be as effective in when you've caught up. It might not be as effective in letting you take steps further, because when you have no one else to copy or no one else to catch up to, the speed slows down a lot.
Yeah, or you can set yourself up to be part of that competition.
Like South Korea in this case.
Yeah. Because
like,
also you gotta think like because everyone had to catch up. Because again, we made it, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I still remember when the first iPhone came out. That was like going from fucking something like Starship
sandals to shoes.
Yeah. 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 Damn, that's interesting. Sandals to shoes, or even like horse to car. Yeah, like I mean, it's a real jump.
Yeah,
that's a real like game changer. Like, oh, you can't jump in the Model T and then get back on your horse. It's like, nah, son. It's like how they talk about like you can't drive a Tesla, then get back into a regular car. Like you're gonna feel something's missing now. You know what I mean?
They've made the need.
Yeah, yeah. We're setting a new standard even. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
but I guess I don't know. I don't even know what we're talking about. But I guess we have
what we can change to be more competitive on our side is kind of where this has shifted.
Hmm?
What we're talking about has kind of went from before we weren't even talking about this. We were talking about how fast things are changing and stuff, but it kind of shifted into
conversation changed fast.
Yeah. Once I said windshield LED, I didn't know that was the trigger word. We went to a new place.
You weren't just gonna lob up that like they're living in the future over there, like this. Like if you said Singapore, I wouldn't have batted an eye. I'd have been like, yeah, that.
Well, the thing is that even like what I was saying, it still kind of goes to that. Like they were playing catch up, but like they've just caught up, and now they're probably, in my opinion, they're probably like a little bit ahead. Not in everything, but in things like electric cars and stuff. Yeah, because they're the best in the world at it.
At what?
Or not the best in the world. They use this stuff the most in the world. So like the electric cars and the LED lights, both of those are used the most in China. Both of them. But individually.
I don't think that's fair though.
And then they put them together.
I think it's a bad metric. Because for them, China very specifically, I don't know how many people have electric cars out there, but it would make sense to me if more, well, for one, there's just more people.
Yeah, so we have to keep that in mind.
As soon as anything goes there, they've already done the most of it. Like it's,
yeah.
So that's
biggest car market.
So it's biggest everything market.
Yeah.
It's the biggest market.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's kind of a false thing to say, like if, you know what I mean, like immediately so on that. But then also, it also wouldn't surprise me even if that were above average. Like even if you were to somehow balance that out for population, but just in terms of how many of said population have it, it would make more sense because again, the more people, the air is so bad, so they have the most necessity for getting this going. With all that said, I still don't think they have shit on a Tesla.
Okay, I'm not sure how they compare to Tesla. Well, their newest car company does compare to Tesla. That's the one I'm talking about with the LED windshield. But I do believe. But I think that a lot of this is like from them. Like I was saying, they have like the catch-up culture in terms of their business, and then that with these electric cars and these LEDs being both specialties that China's run on, like the neon light thing.
Catch-up culture is a weird way of, it is stealing again.
Oh, for sure.
I don't get away from the theft.
Oh, for sure. In a lot
of cases, I'm sure they have ideas. But
no, like it's definitely that way, but rampant. I only say it as catch-up and not just outright theft because that mixed with the fact that like other countries aren't. If other countries got their bag and was like, yo, you're just stealing other than the U.S., I'd get in the bag too. But it seems like everyone's just like, yeah, you know, like kind of let China do its thing. And
Marcus, they make all our shit. What are you talking about? It's
Well,
not by
no,
choice.
no, that was
Everybody.
that happens because China was a recovering country, and because of that, they were
I know
allowed
why.
to do a bunch of
I'm saying
illegal
where
shit.
I'm saying where we are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not only us. Everybody's shit. You go to London, it's made in China. Like, well,
Yeah.
God, they're here too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's.
And they're a dangerous game. They're playing.
Oh yeah, and we didn't even talk about the fact that they have a military that can do the Thriller dance in unison on command. So I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, you
they
know.
take parades on like every season.
Yeah, and the worst
just like,
part
what
is,
up?
I feel like I don't remember who made it, but someone was like, China practices sugar daddy economics. That shit was so real.
I don't know what that means. That's amazing.
To explain, they're like, they pump money into your country. They pump grips, and you can't pay it back. That's what that's how they start you. Then they're like, okay, you don't have to pay it back, but give us this essential thing, and we want that. So in terms of a good example would be Africa. They had a really good harbor. You know, it's like the business center.
Sure.
They're like, okay, you can't pay us back, just give us that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we get it,
Thanks, Cobalt.
I'm not sure,
It's
but
the metal that goes in the phones.
oh, okay,
So we found a couple places. And
word. What, that was like in the Congo or something?
I could even be wrong with the name.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the fact that I even shot that out there is
Or copper? I know copper was important too.
It's like it's a super rare metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know they get it and they start and they use that to change their trade route, kind of circle around India, because India, the whole point, yeah, and but they're doing that in multiple countries. That African country was just like the most recent one.
Yeah, that's from. Yeah, dude, they're just grinders, honestly.
They are
grinders and oppressors at the same time. It's a weird.
And their culture is based on, like, our culture is based on liberty, and theirs is based on harmony, and that's a weird distinction because for them it's important that people aren't beefing. For us, the beef is progress.
Harmony might be their word.
That is their word.
Yeah, it sounds like their word. I would say control.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, harmony is some butterfly. Care Bear shit.
Well, you gotta like
then they start eating each other.
Everything in China goes through the filter of that.
Oh no,
because even their name, that means they're the middle kingdom, the center of the planet. That's what they think of themselves.
I get that. I would tell myself that too.
It's crazy.
The sun shines on me first.
Every time.
Every time. That'd be our country motto right there.
Oh yeah, and then
that's how we say that.
And then our president is a dragon.
You're damn right, it's a dragon. I played Mortal Kombat.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a the more the more you hear how they like talk about shit, the more you're like, yo, you guys are really dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not adopting more of this shit over here. The Rock becomes president, I'm all good with saying he's a fucking gargoyle at night. I'm down with the story. Like, I think there's some value there.
Oh yeah, there's definitely something there.
I would have everybody talking like Game of Thrones.
Honestly, it's crazy because I feel like China's history, like how strong their culture was, is what led China to make all these shifts and like go crazy, because they were just so great, and then they go down into the dumps, and it's like, yo, I haven't forgotten the culture. We're still dragons. We're still the Middle Kingdom. I'll be damned if the West is going to put us through another century of humiliation.
See, like, they didn't make that name. That's hard, for one. It's hard. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I would feel that way, too, though. I don't know.
For sure. No, China.
Because they're just in the right place, and they're massive.
China scares me because their story is like, it's the story of TV shows on how people get back at like everyone. That's their story. Everyone had all around the world. We have the age of discovery. We're having a great time. New trade routes, new boats. We're doing it all. China's in the back, sitting quietly. When the century ends, they're pissed, and they're like, "Yeah, that age of discovery was our age of humiliation."
Now, it's interesting. I wonder. Okay, because I see this. If this is I like the TV analogy or the villain even analogy. So that means in Act Three, maybe even Act Two, there has to be a if. This is fun. All right, humanity's at stake. We have three characters: humanity, uh, the United States, and the Western world, and China, and SWAT. No, it's kidding.
The billions.
Yeah, eventually you're gonna come down to, and basically humanity's your villain, or he's your person you're rooting for, and these are the two people kind of guiding, like the angel, devil on the shoulder. It doesn't even have to be that black and white. It's
Okay.
really just two ways of going about it, and eventually our protagonists come to a fork in the road, and there's going to be a battle for humanity's soul, as it were. Uh, do you ever watch that Castlevania show?
Yep.
Did you watch all of it, or
Yep.
you remember? It was kind of like the black dude, the dude that was fighting for uh, Dracula. He was a bad dude. He was fighting for Dracula, and Dracula sent him away before all this shit happened, and he was on the conquest, and he ended up and he's going back. He has that conversation on the boat
With the captain.
with the captain. You remember
Okay.
that moment? 'Cause that conversation was incredible, by the way.
I don't remember. Tell me about that
It's
conversation.
worth a rewatch. It's
Okay.
on the top list of good TV. I'd put it in all time.
No, they
Uh,
were doing that.
But basically, his whole thing. I wish I could remember the name for reference, but our
What are you
warrior.
gonna do after you?
Huh?
What are you gonna do after you win? Or no? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. It came down to Well, first he got his whole story. Like, what were you even doing? Like, wait, you were with Dracula. He was like, so your mission was to kill all of humanity. It's like, or all humans, right? So that meant he was gonna kill you at the end, right? He was like, well, yeah, I guess I assumed so. So it was like, so working for Dracula was just suicide with more one more steps or whatever. And so that kind of opens the conversation. And it comes down to like, all right, so what are we gonna do after? Or he's on the boat going to a mission of revenge to kill whoever. And
Them females.
yeah, and he's like, so what are you gonna do once you get there? He's like, I don't know, I just want to get there. I'll figure it out later. But he's like, well, I probably keep on my mission, on Dracula's mission. He's like, well, have you ever heard of becoming lost in someone else's story? And he took offense to that, and he was like, you can do your own path. Like, why do you have to do this? And you could actually, you're so smart, you have all these gifts, you learn so much. Why don't you spend your life helping these people? There's good in them. Like, there's surprises you can have. Whatever. But basically, the conversation comes down to uh, his whole arc. That character, the warrior, his whole arc of the season is a battle for his soul. Which way can he go? Will he be good? Will he be bad? He has capacity for good. He has capacity for bad. Where does he go? And the events that lead him to make whatever decisions he's going to make. And you see that often. That's life, and that's a common story thread in good stories.
Yeah.
But I said all that shit to say. Eventually, we're at a place where I see a butting of heads of culture, and that the dynamics are so different, but they both possibly you can show the prosperity or at least the results that both can get you. And this was literally World War II. Well, there was more hate fueled in there, but like that's kind of how we frame these things in our mind, or have framed communism versus capitalism.
Yeah.
Is that uh, vying for our soul? You know what I'm saying? Humanity's soul, and whatever that means.
And it kind of is that though, because I guess it depends how you define the soul.
Well, I mean, but like but I guess
define
it
your
comes down
culture.
to. Well, I guess when I say soul in this, because humanity's soul will be humanity's culture going forward.
Yeah.
And we have one side that flaunts freedoms, ideas. We're funny, we're doing all this shit, and we on the other end we have uh, limited rights, but we have stone cold progression and resolution. Even it's a solid foundation. I don't know what's gonna hit. China's not gonna be broken up from the inside unless should have to go 0 to 100 over there, and I don't even know how.
Hong Kong will have to do so much.
No, I mean it wouldn't even be Hong Kong. I mean Hong Kong is whatever. It would have to be. Yeah, I don't even know how that.
Yeah.
I don't know anything enough about those dynamics on how that ball will get rolling. This one, even our ball rolling in the direction it's rolling, I didn't see that. I wouldn't have saw when Corona came out. If you were like, man, what are all the effects of having people inside for 2 months? Uh, a class war in the streets versus the police wouldn't have made my top 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like in the West we have a lot of twists in the movie.
But see, I think they have twists, but their twists are like they're short-lived twists. Our twists play out more. Their twists get like suffocated in back alleys and they're never seen from again. Like they write an article that could have been a twist and the shit gets deleted before it gets to the printing press. It's like, yeah, we have the twist. Yeah, okay. Come with us.
Their most well-paid job position, twist stopper.
Yeah.
You think you about to put a twist in this, huh?
This guy wanted to make a compelling story. Jackass. No, he's gone forever. Yeah.
Who was he?
Yeah, and I mean, shit. Man, okay, this is fun because I do believe exactly what we just said, and our twists play out. But even with that said, all of our twists still don't play out. Epstein killed himself.
Yeah.
So there's some bigger twists out there that we still snuff. So that's what's crazy. Like we see some wild shit, and you just gotta know there's some wilder shit that someone did their job on and snuffed that shit out.
Yeah, in the U.S., I feel like we're snuffing the shit just the same, but it's just that our snuff. You can't drop the body and then everyone's like, okay. Like in China, they can drop that body and they'll say, well, what are you going to do about it? Out here, it's like, okay, fire on the streets. Ooh,
well,
you got to keep that under wraps.
That's a little different. Okay. These are different. These are a lot of things. We don't. It's a different catch. It's definitely a different catch. We let a lot of shit get out because we just have an infrastructure where that's possible. They just don't. Their infrastructure won't allow it to get out. That's how tight their shit is. So like, you can't. The brutality might be the exact same without the racial component, just straight up whatever. People disappearing, like that is a thing. I don't know how, at what rate, we'll never know because no one's counting. But let's say if the brutality is the same, just somehow same amount of violence. You can't get the outrage that we were able to drum up because you're just never going to see the video. That person recording that video doesn't make it home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole street sweeper.
Yeah, I don't even know if that video finishes recording.
Like, I know it doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cut everything off.
Yeah, dude.
Your credit goes to zero. You're not traveling anywhere.
Dude, they were talking about, when when Trump went to the church and held up the Bible
Mm-hmm.
and tear gas protesters to
Yeah.
clear the way to get him to go. There were rumors. I don't know if this is confirmed, so now I'm just throwing shit out there. But I heard it a couple times that right before that happened, like the Wi-Fi and shit went down. Like they cut like the communications and like cell towers, or whatever, and then that shit happened. So I only bring up that speculation to say that can happen right in front of the White House, a back alley in China. You don't got a chance. Not even a back alley, the streets. You know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy because Trump has made me realize that like we can pop off with the same shit China does. It's just that we've been lucky enough that
You can't though.
Trump has shown that we can though.
No, the same. No, he shows that someone could try, but there's too many guns. There's just too many guns. Like we have.
Well, I mean, in terms of just grabbing people.
Like this part is.
I was thinking more ICE.
Huh?
I was thinking more about ICE when I said that. Like just in terms of being able to just go and grab people, or like just fucking them up.
But
like,
see, that's fucked up. Not.
It is different for sure.
Yeah.
But the capability.
Yeah, but like we always have those capabilities when it comes to non-citizens. Like when we go to Afghanistan, there's no even metaphor for it. We're still Team 6. You know what I'm saying? We're on some real square cell shit. Like all the crazy shit's based off of the real shit that we really be fucking shit up. So when they're insurgents, yeah, we got all the capabilities. We just kind of have an agreement that, yo, you're not gonna come do this shit in South Carolina because that'd be fucking crazy, right?
That's for playing outside.
Yeah, it's like we both have the same passport. Like fuck you. But and again, I argued before, but the only thing that makes Iceland different is they're snatching up, in theory, non-citizens. So it's fucked up that it's on U.S. soil, but the reason there's any blind side to it at all is because you can immediately argue they weren't supposed to be here, or they're not squad. They're trying to be gang, but they're not.
Yeah.
And I want to reiterate.
None of this.
I don't think it's right. I'm just saying that's why there's not riots and shoots when that shit happens.
Yeah.
And that's why
none of this portrays your actual opinions. You're just stating
I'm just
how
saying,
things are.
I'm just saying what it is. I just don't think it's due for that.
I understand.
It's kind of gross. But yeah, the reason you get the George Floyd reaction is even if people on squad feel away or whatever, that is squad. Or in theory, even when like the armed black man gets gunned down by the police saying things like, yeah, but black people have guns too, and they don't want to. That could have been me, like sort of. You know, so like,
Yeah.
wink, wink, or whatever. The sentiment is that's still us. Until we lose that, which we won't. But
Yeah, it's
volatile.
Yeah, that's the best word for it. We're very volatile. Like our mix explodes. That shit
we allow that volatility.
has waves.
Good things come from volatility. I guess
for sure.
It's just hurts to go through if you're on the other side of it, and even if you're going inside of it, it's hard uphill.
Yeah, it and I also think we're having a long-term debate on how much do you have to work for what you have, and how much is it that someone that's amassed a lot should share what they've amassed, because that seems like at least for America a lot of what we're going through in terms of the debate. Like a lot comes back to those things.
What was the first thing you said? How much?
Man, that shit kind of went out the other.
I agree with what you're saying. This all comes down to phrasing.
Yeah.
Because all these plans, I think a lot of people can agree with. Even people like Bill Gates, or no, not Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. He made that point like could have been almost 10 years ago now, where he was like, I pay more, or my secretary pays more taxes than I do. That's fucked up. That shouldn't be the case. I'm not gonna pay more, but that shouldn't be allowed to happen. He's like, you should be taxing me more, and that's a big deal because he's Warren Buffett. His influence on the money. So like, we all agree on that to an extent. People will cry for it because he wants to go with money, but it's crazy.
In the States, it's like
we could have done this.
The lobbying makes these business owners like the national pimps because they can kind of just get what they need across. But in China, the government's the pimp. Like both of them, if you get out of line, the rules are gonna change to check you. But one of them have to do an extra step to get there, and one of them, their hose to power is very direct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like, I still can't remember what the first part of what I said was. But when these people, they lobby, they get their laws through that mess things up for other people, for the basic person. They can do it, and there's no finger to point at them. That's the upside they get. You can't just say, "Oh, he did it," because it was the mysterious lobbyer. For China, their downside is that we do get to point at you. You actually are like criminals. You do this, you do that.
Yeah,
both are really bad.
I don't even think there's really a reason to have lobbies at all. Like,
me neither.
Yeah, I think that's the whole.
I think the only reason.
For no reason.
I think they only exist because, I mean, going back to class and elite.
I actually met a lobbyist last time I was in Alabama.
What?
For real. Like,
what is a lobbyist like?
She's wild. She was wild.
Yeah, like.
I don't really. Yeah, you can't really. I'm trying to think. I don't want to say too much. She was lobbying. Yeah, she's out with a guy. Who did I think it was I don't know. I think he was like in that office in that world.
Mm-hmm.
But one of her friends, my friend, so like she was talking about it the whole night. But just like, this girl is wild. Like or just the things she has to do. And I'm like, I want to have a longer talk and not in the bar. I was like, I have questions. What do you lobby for? What do you go for? Like, what's this process even? Like, but the vibe her friend had for her was like, said some reprehensible shit. Yeah, it's just dirty. It's dirty.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to make money.
And it's a weird thing. I've always thought of lobbyists as it's like how we treat. I've thought of them as the way like people used to treat the women that you'd call hoes. I had the same parallel. It was like the same thing to me. If you're a lobbyist, to me, you're like, you're the bad version of whore we used to call kids.
See, that's the thing, though. They're not, though, because they're the ones cutting the checks.
God damn, yeah, it's the representative. Yeah. You're a fucking
No,
whore.
are always the whore.
You whore.
They're the whore by definition, you know. Well, the grown man, calls you in the middle of the afternoon asking for money. I never met you. I didn't know any of your kids. I didn't ask you about your projects and shit. Hey, who does this?
Yeah, it's a whole different level.
If your family, if your cousin calls you and be like, "Yeah, what up? Yeah, I know we haven't talked in like ever, but let me hold something." Who the fuck? Who's this?
How you come up with this drunk shit?
Who's how'd you get this number? Like, how do you even know who I am? Yeah, man, politicians are whores by that's built into the job. Like, part of their day is making phone calls to beg for money. That shit is disgusting.
And we look down on it, but I don't feel like we look down on it enough.
No, that's what I say. We don't look down on it enough at all.
Yeah, like it should be.
I don't even know if we look down on it.
We do. No, we do, but it's not.
We do, but like not.
It's so passive. It's almost like it's
not the real. Yeah. We might look down on it, but we don't turn our nose up enough.
Yeah.
Or even the fact that it's tolerated. It's so gross.
It's tolerated. That's it. Because like, and I use in the past because now like if you say like you call somebody a hoe, like that shit can be flipped positive. It's like kind of like in the middle of a nigga switch. I don't know what's going on with that. Well, because like nigga was made the shift. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about hoe.
Oh yeah. No, but like yeah.
Who's that? Who's hoe?
Yeah, that and bitch. Like you'll hear it. Like,
bitch. Yeah.
Bitch for sure. Ho yeah. Because it's the empowerment of I just go do what I want to. Right, times different.
But that's like really specific, like women to women.
It's a loose one. And I mean, and niggas black to black.
Well, of course. I mean, you don't have to keep. We know everyone knows.
Yeah.
It's like a brand new thing.
Yeah.
The whole switch. I don't know if that's out here in these streets.
I don't think so either. I think that bitch.
I hear slut more than a hoe switch.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. Honestly, you probably have a better point on that. I can lean fully into bitch. I can.
Oh yeah.
Hoe, I've heard, but I mean I can't double down on it.
Yeah, the hoe switch is weird.
Yeah, and slut, same thing. I've heard it, but I can't put my back on it or say it with my chest. Yeah. So okay, we'll use bitch. Bitches, yeah, it's the best.
Well, hold on. No, actually, hold on. That's still girl to girl.
That's the whole point.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I don't know what I lost there for a second.
Well, no, because at this point, nigga isn't a just black to black thing. It's become a everyone thing, but it had to progress up to that because it was something that was just offensive. Okay. Then it was between us. It's great. But if you guys say
you explain nigga to me one more time.
Fair enough.
No, I'm just kidding. But
no, but I'm saying it because of the progression. Yeah, because like bitch is at the beginning stage. It is.
There's no way. Because there's no way there's ever gonna be a day I'm just walking, we're just chilling. Like, yo, bitch. Like it's not a.
Well, no, not between us. But I've on the street called women bitch already.
Cold?
Huh? Cold. Or are you saying I just met them? No. But like within 2 meetings, 3 meetings.
Yeah. You think you can get to that's what I'm saying.
I think I can get to where I can say that mess on the first time. And I might bitch cold, like, and I might not be able to just smoothly say it and nothing happens, but I can say it and then I can talk about it and get away with it. I know it.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah. I mean, I've already done it. If it's just to that, yeah, I've done that. Like I've first met somebody, been talking, we build up enough rapport, and I'm like, yeah, bitch, da, or like, nah, bitch, you tripping.
Okay, that's.
But this is how the term's used.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But the thing is, you can't.
I want something more direct, but like that's not.
Yeah, you know, like. I mean, you can't go call somebody a nigger. Like, yeah, like there's limits to the bag.
Yo, shit shuts everything down. We've explored this enough.
It's because we love you guys so much. We take it to these places.
Alright, we're gonna be back next week for sure. You good with that?
Yeah.
Alright.
I want to say nigger one more time.
Good Lord. Bye.